Hey everybody, it's Rory from ANSgear. We're going to take a look at the Empire Sniper today. This is a pump gun, super popular, great mid-range price as far as pumps go. Comes with a lot of features, so let's check it out. They only make one color from factory now. They make black. If you look through our website, you'll see that there's a bunch of colors that we offer because we do disassemble the guns, anodize them, and reassemble them in like 9 different colors or something like that. So if black's not your thing, there are other color options out there, so make sure you look through them. But in the box, when you open it up, you're going to get your manual, which is on a CD, and a quick start manual. This is going to give you the very basic information to get your gun up and running and get you out there and start playing. If you lose this, right here, you can go to the website, paintballsolutions.com, and you can download any manual that comes from Empire, BT, JT, any of their stuff is online. So you get your gun inside the box. You're going to get a full set of standard Allen keys, barrel swab or barrel sleeve, no barrel swab. You're going to get a parts kit right here. Basic amount of parts right there. Don't expect to overhaul the entire gun with the parts kit in there. It gives you the necessities of what you need. Your barrel tip, 3 different barrel backs. This is a 685, 680, and 675. So starting on the pretty low side and going up to mid-range on the 80 side. For pump players, they're shooting usually high-end paint for the most part because they're not shooting a lot of paint. They can afford to buy the more expensive paint. And your higher-end paint tends to typically be smaller bore sizes. So that's why you'll see the 675 back in there because good paint tends to be smaller. And then your stock class adapter right here. So this is like a 10-round, I believe it's 10, don't quote me on that one. Pretty sure it's 10. 10-round tube that you can attach to the top here if you want to get rid of the hopper adapter. So you can pop that thing off of there, put your stock class tube on there, and shoot the gun that way. So that's going to come inside there as well. We'll put our barrels back in so we can close this thing up and look at the gun. All right. So the gun itself basically has all the features that you'd see on a high-end gun. We have an on-off ASA at the bottom, adjustable regulator through here, which we'll talk about a little bit later, gauge that shows you your input pressure through your regulator, pump handle at the front. A lot of people take these off. This is kind of like a little trigger that you can actually hold onto the front of the gun and just pull the trigger back, or pull the, I don't want to call it the trigger, the pump handle back. Instead of holding it like this and pulling it back and shooting it, you can hold on to it and do it this way. It's up to you, whatever feels more comfortable. I know a lot of guys just pop this piece out and hold on to it and shoot the gun like that. It's really up to you. There's no right way to do it. Bolt up top, locking cam lock lever style feed neck. You can open it up and twist it by hand, or you could tighten it down and then tighten it with an Allen key. However you want to do it, it's up to you. It's got what looks like eye covers on it. They're not eye covers because the gun doesn't have any eyes. It's a pump gun. This is just the detent cover. If you pull this off, it gives you access to the detent underneath it. It gives you the ability to change it out for new ones or just replace them in any way that you need to if they go bad. Pretty much the features through the outside of the gun. The bolt does pop up and slide out through the back. When you do put the bolt in, you want to make sure that you properly lock it into place and push it all the way down, because the sled from the pump handle that you see right here is actually what the bolt pin locks into, so that when you move the sled back and forth with the pump handle here, if you don't lock it in properly, it might not connect into the hammer assembly underneath and cock the hammer back when you pull it back. So make sure that you drop it through the hole and push it all the way down to where it snaps firmly down in there. We have a safety on the side here, and then we have our auto trigger, which is right here. So what the auto trigger is a way to hold the trigger down and have the gun continuously shoot just through pumping it. Normally you have to pump it back, shoot, pump it back, shoot. If I hold the trigger down, I can pump it back, and when the handle comes back forward, it shoots automatically. So no longer do I have to keep pulling on the trigger. I can just hold the trigger down and auto trigger all day long. So you can shoot pretty quick with an auto trigger setup, but it takes a lot of practice shooting auto trigger because moving the handle back and forth is going to make the gun want to move around on you. So your accuracy can be pretty sporadic when auto triggering. As far as other features of the gun, these guns, when we set them up and when they come from factory, they're typically set at about 225 PSI through the regulator. Okay. One thing I tell people who are used to shooting other style guns, with a gun like this, a pump gun or an autococker setup, you typically don't want to adjust velocity through the regulator. Okay, you want to set your velocity or set your regulator at the optimal working pressure, and then adjust velocity through the velocity adjuster at the back right here. Now they set theirs flush at about 225. When I set them up, I set this about 1 turn in at 225. And that usually gives you about a 285, 295 feet per second. Typically, it's not the same for every gun. With it's set at 225 and flush on the back, usually you're at about 270-ish or so. So the gun will function at either place. It just depends on what your field rules are for how fast you can shoot your gun. But again, if you increase this pressure to make your gun shoot harder, the higher you go on this input pressure, you'll get to a certain point where the velocity, no matter what you do, will go down. Even if you keep increasing, your velocity goes down. And there's scientific reasons for that, which we don't really need to explain in the video. But for this particular style of gun, set it at about 225, 200 to 225, and just adjust velocity through the back here. If you find that with screwing your IVG way far in, you're still not getting appropriate velocity, first thing I would do is check your barrel to bore match. Make sure that you're not way overboard on your paint. Secondly, I would set my IVG back flush again. If you have a good match on your paint, set your IVG back flush again, increase your input pressure by about 15 PSI, and then start screwing your IVG back in to check velocity again. You should never need to go up too much higher than 225, 230, 540 to get appropriate velocity. If you are, something else is causing a problem inside your gun. But from factory, they're at 225, flush on the back, and I've never seen one not have an issue set up like that. So for the price, getting a dual rodded pump gun like this, I think they are fantastic deals, especially with all the colors that we make for them now. And they're right around the $400 range, so you can't feel like it's not a good deal for what you get. They're super solid, super comfortable, and they shoot great. So check them out. These are the Empire Snipers. They're available in lots of different colors, so check the website for colors and order yours now through ANSgear.com.